Diversity and Inclusion Project. They're my funders, so they're amazing. And also my faculty supervisor, Manavi Honda, she has been amazing. And the participants who have given me their time, and they're so busy, and I know that, so yeah. Okay, so the background. So I'm in year 204 of the MEP, and when I got to Ryerson, I was really surprised, actually, at how diverse my cohort is, and that was really exciting for me. But, you know, as the year went on, it was kind of apparent that, like, we were diverse in numbers, but the course content didn't feel adequately diverse, and didn't feel adequately acknowledging of people of color. So this is something that, you know, I've been thinking about for a while, and I became interested in, like, as much as the MEP is extremely supportive and accommodating of diversity, there are obviously there's room for improvement, right? And I'm curious about that. And then more broadly, I'm interested in professional education and the social inclusion of immigrants and people of color. So my objectives for this study was to talk to students and recent graduates and to talk to them about some of the vulnerabilities. So, you know, how people experience social exclusion in the program, what some of our weaknesses are, where we can improve, and then to talk about personal and institutional resilience. So what are our strengths? I mean, I think it's really important to recognize the work that has already been done and continues to be done, and also the types of informal support that students and faculty have generated and are engaging in, right? So, my methods. So I applied for funding in the spring of this year. I did my research ethics approval. It was a long process. And since then, I have recruited 5 students and 3 recent graduates. So that's within 5 years of graduating at the Ryerson MEP. And I'm talking exclusively about the Ryerson MEP. So yeah, my recruitment was done through social media and Snowball communication. You know, I'm lucky that Midwifery is kind of a smallish community and people talk, so that was really helpful to me. And I've been doing one-on-one interviews and then also a focus group for students. And right now I'm at the transcription phase. It's very long. Yeah, so I'm transcribing right now. So the focus of my study is on first and second generation Canadian students and recent graduates who identify as people of color and immigrants. It's very specific, and I just want to comment a little bit on the focus. And, you know, Indigenous participants are not being recruited for my study, and I've been asked why, and this is a really important question. Like, I think it's really important that you can't talk about race and racism in the MEP without including Indigenous knowledge and experiences. My funder is interested in research about immigrants, and so I'm limited in that way. So, but you know, I would love to do further collaborative work, and I think it's really important. So I just wanted to say that. So what I've learned so far. So I asked participants to give me some recommendations in how to support diversity in the MEP. And in the profession. And so, you know, there are some themes that are emerging, and I'm in the process of doing data analysis. I haven't done a formal data analysis, but these are just some themes I'm seeing. So one thing is to build and improve on the institutional supports that already exist. And a lot of people talk about WAD. I think a lot of you are in WAD now. And Aboriginal childbearing. These are mandatory courses, and that's really great, and that's an excellent place to start. One thing that people have brought up is that first year tends to be that year where you get to talk about all of those things, and maybe it wanes a little bit in other years because you're in clinic and you're busy and you're focusing more on practice skills. But some way of integrating that into racist education throughout, like maybe panels and workshops and these kind of things. Not necessarily adding another course because it is like a really intense program. So, hold on. I'm nervous. Okay, so one of the most important things that I'm kind of grappling with and thinking about and taking away from these interviews is that we really need to center, not only add, but center the knowledge and experiences of people of color. And this has come up in many ways, but one way that I think is really interesting is that, Ryerson's MEP happens to be in downtown Toronto, an incredibly diverse urban center, and that's a really advantageous position to be in, I think. Advancing studies in urban health, right? I think that's really important. I also was this summer working with Neil, somewhere. We were looking at the course content of With Women and Why, and thinking of ways to integrate more readings that were by scholars of color and about Indigenous communities and immigrant communities. So that was really good. Okay. Yeah, so my next steps. So I am still recruiting. I'm actually still looking for recent graduates. 2 more would be amazing. So if you guys know any people, please pass my contact information along. And then I'm also working on a literature review and data analysis. And then I plan to produce some fact sheets that are about diversity in the MEP and maybe including some recommendations. So that's all. Thank you.